separate resolution and a separate roll call because our bond attorney, Mr. Dorsey, thinks this is better since we're getting it paid by tip increment revenue.
That's why I did my resolutions earlier.
I guess it needs out. He knows how it's crickets up here. Who wants to read the first one?
Motion to adopt resolution 2151 approving a loan agreement and authorizing the issuance of a taxable urban renewal tax increment revenue promissory note series 2021A and pledging to the payment thereof funds and portions of taxes created pursuant to the authority of subsection 2 of section 403.19 of the Code of Iowa.
Second.
So a motion and a second, please call the roll.
Schiffer,
Yes.
Knapp,
Yes.
Goodchild.
Yes.
Wick,
Yes.
Don.
Yes.
Now it's turn.
Resolution number 2.
Motion to adopt resolution 2152, approving a loan agreement and authorizing the issuance of taxable urban renewal tax increment revenue promissory note series 2021B and pledging to the full payment thereof funds and portions of taxes created pursuant to the authority of subsection 2 of section 403.19 of the Code of Iowa.
Second.
Yes.
Got a motion and a second. Christie?
Schiffer,
Yes.
Knapp,
Yes.
Goodchild.
Yes.
Wick.
Yes.
Don.
Yes.
Next one.
Motion to adopt resolution number 2153, approving a loan agreement and authorizing the issuance of a taxable urban renewal tax increment revenue promissory note, series 2021C, and pledging to the payment thereof funds and portions of taxes created pursuant to the authority of the subsection 2 of section 403.19 of the Code of Iowa.
Second.
Christie, call the roll. We just got these, both of them, yeah. So just call the roll, please.
Knapp,
Yes.
Goodchild.
Yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
Schiffer,
Yes.
Wick.
Yes.
And finally,
Motion to adopt resolution 2154, approving a loan agreement and authorizing the issuance of a taxable urban renewal tax increment revenue promissory note series 2021D and pledging the payment thereof funds and portions of taxes created pursuant to the authority of subsection 2 of section 403.19 of the Code of Iowa.
Second.
Christie, call the roll.
Schiffer,
Yes.
Knapp,
Yes.
Goodchild.
Yes.
Wick.
Yes.
Don.
Aye.
Okay. We start, we are now ready to start our meeting. General discussion. Anybody got anything that's a citizen that would like to talk about anything?
Rich is a citizen.
Talk good things for the city?
This is good, yes. Okay, this is, we did a pipelining job this summer, first one we ever done in the city of Iowa. And I wanted to show you guys what the pipe looks like beforehand. Great. And what it looks like, now this here is usually smoother than this. This was the end and this is the first one, the four we did.
It looks
Yeah,
pretty
we cut
smooth
off.
to me.
Like I said, this is the first time we've done this. We did 3.5 blocks. Then 3.5 blocks from start to finish took us 17 days. We started on August, I wrote it down because I forget things. August 11th is when we started doing the temporary service. So with this job, we have to actually take all of the customers off of the main and bring temporary water lines to them. So we hooked on the fire hydrants, ran temporary mains, did bacteria tests. Once they passed, we hooked them up to the temporary line. From that point on, we can cut holes in the sections because you can't go around 90s or nothing like that to this pipelining. So we had 5 holes opened up. Then the Triton pipelining came in on a Thursday. We were scheduled to do this pipelining on that Monday. We did it on Thursday. We had everything ready, so we worked through the weekend. And on Sunday, we had the water back in the mains. And the following Friday, everybody was hooked back up. So it went extremely well. A lot less expensive than if we would replace the main. The cost for us to do, the water department to do the work we did and the pipelining for them to do their work was $92,000, a little over $92,000. If we had hired Triton to come in and do all the work where the city didn't provide any help, it had been $213,000. So the guys at the water department basically saved the city $120,000 by doing the work they did, and it went really good. The guy who owns this company, his name is Gary. He would like to take all the guys and have them work for him. So he was very impressed with the quality of workers we have here. They got in there, learned fast. When we were working on Friday night, he got a phone call from a foreman he subcontracts to a company called Suez. That foreman contacted him, they're having issues. They spent a week cleaning one block of main. We did 3.5 in a day. So we did pretty good. I got to break the guys, they catch on things fast and they work. So I wanted to brag about my guys because they did an awesome job. They saved the city a lot of money. The reason why we went with the pipelining instead of replacing the main is this particular main was in backyards. So 2 blocks of the 3.5 were backyards, and there was some structures over top of it. We've had 4 leaks in the last 2 years there, and that's why we decided to do that. But the time it would have taken to bore new lines in, dig up every service, and hook on it would have been probably at least 2 months. So what we did in 16 days would have taken 6 or 2 months to do if we had replaced the main. So that's why we chose to do it there. And it would have cost more to replace the main instead of do what we did. So
Wonderful. Wonderful.
You told this Gary guy to leave your boys alone?
Yeah, all right, they want to raise.
We'll deal with that in another meeting.
But I just want to let you guys know, now that I have no benefit of doing this pipelining is you guys seen the little bit of stuff that was in there. Beforehand, I did a fire flow test on that section. It was 430 gallons a minute. When we were done, it was 750 gallons a minute. So we doubled.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was 5. That's a great thing.
It made a heck of a difference on the way this works is because you have service taps on that. Anything a 1/4 inch and bigger, that it will not plug that hole. It actually coats it, so it'll make the tap stronger too.
What is the product, Rich?
It's a rosin plastic
Like
kind
a
of thing.
plastic?
And there are different thicknesses. There's a 1 mil and a 3 mil. I chose to go with the 3 mil because the 3 mil is more of a structural strength also. The 1 mil is more for if you're having problems with your water and the pipe having a reaction and that you can't get your iron and manganese and that levels down where they need to be. But the 3 mil gives you some strength too. So this is, you got the structural strength of the existing pipe that's in the ground plus the 3 mil strength of the new pipe coating you put in there.
Sure.
So I can see us doing more of this in the future. I think it was a very good thing. There isn't a lot of companies out there that do it in the United States, but it is economically feasible. I think.
That's very good.
Yeah, thanks for the thumbs up. So we're just gonna continue. How about Mr. Chief of Police?
Thanks,
Why don't you
Rich.
explain about tonight?
Yeah, you bet.
Since we're gonna do thumbs up and we got the big audience at the beginning of the hour, so.
Well, tonight is the National Night Out, and we're kind of doing a public safety theme this year and probably moving forward each year. So from 5 to 7 tonight, we're supplying the burgers and the brats and the drinks at the police department. On display, we'll have police cars, cars from the sheriff's office, state patrol, fire. You're going to have an engine and rescue unit. So it should be a good time. We'll have some giveaways and some raffles we're doing, and it's just an opportunity for the community to come in and maybe meet some officers, maybe meet some EMS, fire personnel, meet other law enforcement agencies that work in our area. We do have one house or a block party this evening as well, and we'll have a couple officers go to that block party. So come on down, it's free from 5 to 7.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yep.
And we'll continue with pancakes. How'd pancakes turn out, Mr. Ship? I mean, we might as well just make it a universal thumbs up.
You're doing all right. Largest crowd we ever had. Almost 600 people served, and made a lot of money off it. So I want to thank the public for being so generous. I think last year we didn't have it because of COVID, like everything else, and they came out, and their checkbooks and pocketbooks came out too, so we really appreciate that, and had a beautiful day for it, so thanks to everybody for attending.
Yeah, we're just so blessed as a city to have those gentlemen in charge of a couple of our departments, and obviously water, sewer, everything else is really great supervisors in our city. So, anybody else that says, and I think I covered them, so now we'll go to the, Michael, you got something for the thoughts here?
Pass.
Pass.
Huh?
I want to give thumbs up to our campgrounds this past weekend, along with the Fireman's Pancake Feed. Saturday night, they had their annual trick-or-treating for our community, and I guess the numbers there that night was huge. But I went there earlier, and I appreciate all of their efforts in getting their campers spookified, because it's kind of cool. And the grounds were full.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
but I just heard tons of how full the parking lot was of kids that went trick-or-treating, so
Yeah.
thumbs up to all of them.
Mr. Ship, you got something?
Thumbs up to the chief of police and his department for the fundraiser they had this weekend for one of our retired officers, Officer Reed.
I was just gonna jump on the campground too, because that was a sight to be seen. We're gonna have a lot of people sit there and try to copy what we have there, because there isn't other campgrounds that have that many spookified places. And we had kids went through in 20 minutes and had grocery sacks full of candy. I mean, these people were giving out ladles. I mean, we're talking pounds of candy. So it's very cool. We got a great campground director out there. And we've got a lot of people that just love our campground. So amen to all those things. Okay, so now we move on to the consent items. We've got 7 of them today. Approval of regular minutes, list of bills, 5-day liquor license, request to close street, annual street report, urban revitalization tax exempt request, and transfer of liquor license for KC's. Anybody got any questions about those?
These are the
So why do we have 5-day liquor license for backers? What the heck's going on for 5 days out there?
Nothing, it's just they have to have a certain amount of time frame to transfer their license. So even if they're going for 1 day, it's a 5-day thing.
Okay.
The minimum is a 5 day.
Okay, well, I was just, maybe that's happened before, but I just focused on, whoa, we got some shindig going on.
No, that's how the state classifies it, but it's only for 1 day.
Okay, I just want to be sure that I wasn't missing something.
That would be the adult trick or treating.
If I'm looking at the right dates, there isn't gonna be any adults giving out candy if it's 5 days.
You're talking about spooky.
Motion to adopt consent items 1 through 7.
And it's a resolution according to the people that didn't tell us about it, so.
Yeah, for street finance, so it's 2155.
It's 55 and resolution 2155.
We got a second? Somebody?
Second.
Okay. Christie, you want to call the roll?
Schiffer,
Yes.
Knapp,
Yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
Wick,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Okay. So now we go through speed limits. Right?
Yep.
Okay, Public Safety Committee met on September 28, 2021 to discuss speed limits on K-49 7th Avenue south of 18th Street Southeast. With residential expansion due to the recent platting of the Dogwood 3rd Edition, speed limits should be adjusted to reflect the area. Okay, so somebody want to give a quick overview of what we're doing and if it's good enough?
Well, I don't know if it's good enough. We did have public safety meeting. What came out of that public safety meeting was a little bit different than what you see on the aerial. Initially, the 45 and the 55 on the lower part of it was down at that yellow line. So it would be the south end of the Winslow Acres subdivision. So I ran it by Tom Roy with Plymouth County, because this affects some speed limits in the county. The supervisors also have to approve it. So his recommendation coming back was what you see here. Sliding that 55 and that 45 further north. And the reason being is, I'm sure we've all driven that. There isn't a whole lot out there right now. But with the platting of Dogwood Third and the filling up of Dogwood Second and these other larger lots along K49 and 7th Avenue are part of Dogwood First. As those start to fill in, it becomes residential. Okay? So then with it being designated as residential, then it justifies adjusting the speed limits to slow traffic down. We know Steve on the east side there, Coulter has throughout the years stood here at the podium, so publicly and then privately expressed his concern of the speed that people are traveling there. But, I mean, there was no justification really at that time to do anything, because it was basically, you know, one house out in a rural area. But as we've developed along K49 and 7th Avenue, so as those residential areas migrate south, then we have adjusted accordingly. So this is just a reaction of us acting with the development of Dogwood Third. As we continue to develop there, then we'll continue to be forced to move it further south.
So this will be revisited again?
It'll have to be. I mean, the next development that happens. I mean, you know, Steve Schuster has that entire section, so as he develops that corner, that other section that is the east of Winslow, that's been highly talked about throughout the last year of something happening there. Nothing's happened yet, but you know, that could be houses along there, so then we'll have to readdress it.
So the new limits are
White.
in white. I'm confused as to the two numbers.
Carbon gone.
Is that what it is?
It is confusing.
So you're, okay.
The speed
That's what
limits
I thought
are
it was, that's exactly what I thought it
Into
was.
town, you're going 35, if you're going out of town, you can go 45 at that stop.
Right.
Well, that's where they change. But if you look at in between them, you're actually going the same speed on both sides. It's just that's where they change.
Okay.
It takes a little, I mean, it doesn't seem like it's right, but it is right.
Right.
Should be a lively hearing.
Who
wants to make the motion to have another hearing?
I just can't wait to see what's going on.
I will make a motion to establish October 19th, 2021 at 12 a.m. as a public hearing on proposed changes to Chapter 140, controlled access facilities, and specifically speed limits on K49/7th Avenue Southeast.
Second.
You did say, you did mean PM, right?
Yes.
I did.
Good.
So can we
I
have?
thought you said AM.
I said KM, actually.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So, Clark brought up to me that, you know, I should ask about getting my pay increase, and I wasn't thinking about it until we got all these public hearings. But I'm thinking, this is a pretty lively job.
Well, I'd support that if you would have had to read the legal description of that sale, so.
I told you that we weren't gonna take a half hour to do it. Okay. We're now on E3. No more comment. Okay, so the US EDA Build Back Better Challenge Grant. Okay, Semco has asked the city of Lamar to be a coalition member in the submitting of an application for the US EDA Build Back America Challenge Grant, even though that hasn't been passed or voted on by Congress yet. Attached is the narrative of which the city would be a participant in the regional development infrastructure component, which hasn't been determined yet. If our application is chosen in phase one after it's voted on, a planned documented infrastructure improvement plan will be created. Phase one is 100% with no local match. So yeah, they're gonna give away money, but we don't know when or if they are, really.
So we have
All
to
we're
be
doing is
prepared.
we're gonna be a participant in submitting the challenge grant.
So any further explanation needed? Michelle couldn't be here or on the phone today, so I mean, if there's questions, I can try to answer them the best I
I mean,
can.
we've done well on these deals in the past, and when you're on the front end of it, we've ended up getting 5 to 10 times dollar amounts, whatever we spent, so.
Well, the way it was,
It's good to be funded.
yeah, the way it was